Hey guys, I'm sorry for the late Trench Crusade video. I know I try to upload every Tuesday, but today I didn't. Well, that's because, I got my wisdom teeth removed, and it fucking hurt to speak, so kinda fucked up on that one, I'll admit, but hey, the video's coming out this week. I'll promise that much. So it's either gonna be out by Thursday or Friday, one of those two dates. Hopefully Thursday. But anyways, the video I'm going to be doing is going to be a simple, easy one. And it's from the Trench Crusade Reddit. And on there they have this post. I'll put it up. It's from this guy, so give a round of applause to him. But I'll be going over each of the, theories they have and explaining why I think they would be interesting or true, or why I don't think they would be interesting or just not true. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's get started. What we got right now is this is the first theory we have. I'm gonna have an AI voice read it because, I guess not AI voice, everything that's called AI nowadays, more of a text-to-speech voice, TTS voice. I'm gonna have that read it out, and I'm gonna explain what I think about it, okay? Okay, let's get started.
Neither the church nor hell want God to get directly involved, because the moment he does, he's gonna flood the whole world, or try and wipe the slate clean.
Now, I wouldn't really describe this as accurate, but the reason why God doesn't get directly involved is because hell and heaven have a gentleman's agreement that basically says if neither of us gets directly involved in this war, we won't all come out in our full force. Now, while he would be correct that would cause humanity to completely go extinct because Satan and his army is going full force, and God and his army is going full force. Now, God's winning that fight, but there's not really much of a chance that all his creations survive, and they might just be completely wiped out. Think how much damage Beelzebub's plagues have done. Imagine that 10x, maybe even 100x. That's what we're talking about. Now, there is ways for humanity and the heretics to get around these rules. We know this because the Metachrist exists, and also the weird flies of Beelzebub, which are these giant ass flies, which both are basically technicalities because both are very holy. Both the Metachrist is very holy, and the Beelzebub flies are very hellish. They're both technically made out of something from Earth, so it doesn't really break the rules. Now, if these rules were ever broken and direct involvement did happen, it's game over. Everyone's dying. But, that doesn't mean that God's gonna just wipe everything out. No, it's gonna be wiped out because of the war between heaven and hell. Okay, let's move on.
The paladin that supposedly turned coat didn't. They were captured by Mammon's forces, and the Lord of Greed keeps him in stasis, I suppose, as a trophy in his realm. He won't corrupt or use him in the war, as it would ruin its value, and Mammon gets off on all the other princes of hell not having something he has. The war spite exists, and is just as stubborn and ungoddamn sinkable as she was in real life.
Now, while this would make a lot of sense, and I could see some interesting, stories about it, for example, the idea that, there could be a mini civil war within hell over who gets control over that paladin, because I could see the Prince of Envy being upset at Mammoth, because let's be honest, he's upset at mothers who get pregnant because he can't get pregnant. you don't think he's not going to get upset at someone having a toy that he doesn't have? No, he's going to throw a hissy fit and he's going to want that shit. So he's going to end up getting into a fight with Mammoth, which I think would be a really interesting thing to see play out within the lore. So, overall, I could see there being a lot of potential within this, and I see it could be pretty interesting if they actually did this.
Completely unfounded, but at least one of the faithful nations has been infiltrated by hell at the highest levels, or its leadership has been genuinely corrupted.
Now, this is actually true. Well, specifically for, a faction that sided with the heretics, that being the Path of the Beast. These guys have people, their heads, their leaders, look human. And they trick, countries into basically making them, very high positions so that they can screw over everyone and benefit, the heretics and the Path of the Beast. So this is actually not even a theory. It's just something that straight up happens within the lore.
The Templars were scapegoated somehow, just as they were in real life. I have no basis on this, but knowing that the writers are history buffs, I can't say that it hasn't crossed my mind.
I think this would be a very fun thing for them to do, and it would make sense because there is historical precedence for the Templars to getting blamed for shit. And so it would be interesting to have a group of Templars trying to prove that their order is innocent and trying to figure out who actually did it. But the real question is, if the Templars are innocent, who really did it? Who really opened up the gates of hell? And that's something for you lovely folks to debate in the comment section down below. Who do you think really opened the gates of hell if the Templars didn't do it?
Jewish space lasers will eventually destroy the heretic hordes.
Now, this is just completely wrong. It is completely, unbelievably wrong. It would be Christian space lasers. Get your shit right.
Less of a theory, more of a request, I think would be pretty neat. Vlad the Impaler as a third faction, not aligned with hell, nor the forces opposing hell.
Now, within the lore of Trench Crusade, we actually do know what Vlad the Impaler was doing. Now, Vlad, he impaled all of the heretics in Eastern Europe and kicked them out pretty much. This was during the time of the fall of the Byzantine Empire, and when Constantinople fell, all the heretics came in, and then Vlad kicked them out with the Order of the Dragon. And so, yeah, he's probably a vampire as well. So, we do know that he is with the church, but I think that he's not with the Catholic Church. I think he's with the Orthodox Church, which would be interesting because that would be a new faction that we could see, Orthodox vampires. That would be, pretty badass, them doing a fucking charge against heretic tanks while riding a horse. Fucking the imagery just makes itself, honestly. But yep, that's where we'll be ending off today. I hope you enjoyed this very late Trench Crusade Tuesday, and have a lovely day. Goodbye.